Hello and welcome to Films on Trial Film Reviews. I'm Alex and this is my spoiler-filled review of Alita Battle Angel. Before we go on, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Films on Trial to stay notified on all of our shenanigans. Alita Battle Angel is based on a manga novel and is produced by James Cameron and John Landau, who brought us Avatar and Titanic, both of which are the highest grossing films of all time. It's written by Cameron with Laeta Kalogridis and directed by Robert Rodriguez. It stars Rosa Salazar as a cyborg who wakes up with no memory and has to navigate the junk-filled Iron City which sits beneath the wealthy floating city of Zalem, with supporting performances from Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, Ed Skrein and Jackie Earle Haley. The film does a great job at creating a believable setting, largely thanks to an eye-watering $200 million budget, much of which must have gone on the CGI. Like Avatar, the filmmakers have brought a believable sci-fi world to life and littered it with unanswered questions. Where did Alita come from and what is she? Who lives on Zalem and why are they such dicks about letting anyone else be their neighbour? What was the Fall, the mysterious apocalyptic event that created this society? Why have humanity become so accident-prone as for everyone to need cyborg prosthetics? And what is Motorball? However, the film pretty much instantly dismisses these questions that it has itself raised and instead focuses on intense action that really was pretty spectacular to watch in 3D at an IMAX screen. The fight scenes are well choreographed and the violence is never too visceral. There are some fairly outrageous moments that will make you sit up and stop it getting too stale. The problem with Alita is the scenes that stretch out between the action. A lot of these scenes focus on a very uninspiring love story between Alita and Hugo, which is not a joke, played by Kian Johnson. Hugo is very handsome and he wears a leather jacket, and he also seems nice, and on this basis, Alita falls deeply and truly in love with him. Sitting in a cinema, I felt dawning horror as I realised this wasn't going to be another Avatar, but more of a Twilight or Hunger Games style film trying to get in on the teen romance market. There's a shadow of something new when we see Alita become too intense in her affections, which scares Hugo, but this sadly led nowhere. Eventually, it ends with Hugo slipping from Alita's grasp to his death, after professing his undying love, which would have packed more of a punch if he hadn't died once already, literally 10 minutes before. Though the storyline involving Hugo is about as interesting as a wet sandwich, Alita herself is mesmerising, mainly due to her large eyes. That might sound flippant, but honestly, they really are massive in this film. Rosa Salazar is superb as the title character, blending a sensitive naivety with great physical and emotional strength. Hugo's second death scene could have seemed totally ridiculous, but it was saved by Salazar and her great performance. The same can't be said for the supporting characters though. They have no depth to them and they are only bearable because they're being played by well-known actors. Ido, played by Christoph Waltz, slots simply and unbelievably into the role of controlling parent, who Alita rebels against, which is a shame because their relationship as creator and created might have been interesting had it not followed such a tired cliche. Jennifer Connelly has little to do except narrate the plot. Ed Skrein plays an uninteresting cyborg villain, but the biggest waste for me was Mahershala Ali. I would say he was the actor I was most excited about seeing, especially as I haven't seen him play a villain before. But getting Ali to play the role of Vector is like having asked Shakespeare to do a word search or Michelangelo to do your kitchen. I walked away wishing he'd said no. I also have an issue with Iron City itself. I can't help but feel that it was what people who aren't poor think poverty is like. We're told it's dangerous and terrible, but really all it needs is a more organised traffic system and for someone to dig out some old health and safety regs for the workplace. Again, I felt this film was being directed more at the teen market, with angsty issues of life being hard and having to fight against authority simply accepted rather than built up or explored. In conclusion, Alita Battle Angel is great for its action scenes, but poor for everything that comes between. For me, a good sci-fi film takes issues from the world we live in and explores them in a fantasy realm so that we can better understand them in our daily lives. Alita Battle Angel raises interesting issues like wealth inequality and humanity's drive to create weapons which will destroy itself, but it instead chooses to delve into a convoluted plot and a boring teen romance story that tries and fails to emulate Twilight. It culminates in a huge anticlimax which sets the film up as a franchise. Though in this day and age it's hardly surprising, I do think it's pretty ballsy for a film to essentially not end its own plot and presume people will not be pissed off but in fact be begging for more. So my verdict, 2 chocolate frogs out of 5. So what did you think? Did you agree with the review? Let us know in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can listen to Films on Trial on any podcasting platform, And why not check us out on Twitter at Film Trials. And before I leave you, it's time for some trivia. This film spent 2 decades in development hell because James Cameron felt film technology wasn't advanced enough and then became too busy with the Avatar sequels. It only came possible when Robert Rodriguez expressed an interest in directing. What a shame. See you next time.